For a long time, I thought I had a motivation problem. I would tell myself I needed to be more disciplined, more productive, more ambitious. Maybe I needed a new goal, a better routine, or another system for organizing my life. But eventually, I started wondering whether I had diagnosed the wrong problem. Because what if you're not actually unmotivated? What if there is simply nothing in your life that is visibly growing? What if you're not unmotivated? Your life just has nothing growing in it. For a long time, I thought I had a motivation problem. I would tell myself I need to be more disciplined, more productive, more ambitious. Maybe I need a new goal, a better routine, or another system for organizing my life. But eventually, I started wondering whether I had diagnosed the wrong problem. Nothing changing, nothing unfolding, nothing waiting for you tomorrow that was not there today. And what if one small living thing could begin to change that? A lot of modern life runs in circles. You answer emails and more arrive. You wash the dishes and they get dirty again. You finish work, go to sleep, and wake up to do another version of the same day. Even entertainment resets. You finish one video and another appears. You scroll to the bottom, except there is no bottom. You can be busy all day and still feel as though nothing actually moved forward. That can look like laziness from the outside. It can feel like laziness from the inside. But sometimes you're not missing motivation. You're missing evidence that their actions are leading somewhere. A plant is different. Yesterday there was only soil. Today something green is pushing through it. Next week it may have 4 leaves. After that, a flower. Then maybe a tomato, a pepper, an herb, or something you've never tasted before. A plant is a progress bar that you can water. And unlike most of the progress bars on a screen, this one exists in the real world. When you plant something, you quietly place a series of events into your future. First, you see whether it germinates. Then you wonder what the first leaves will look like. You notice it grew overnight. You see the first flower forming. You begin anticipating the first harvest. One seed does not create one reward. It creates a chain of small future moments. That becomes even more powerful when you grow something unfamiliar. Maybe it's chocolate mint and you want to know whether it really smells like chocolate. This tastes like a bell. Maybe it's a black carrot, a purple cauliflower, a tomato with smoky flavor, a lettuce that supposedly tastes like an apple, or a corn that looks like stained glass. Now you're not just maintaining a plant. You're waiting to discover something, and discovery gives tomorrow a shape. The problem is that most people hear the word gardening and immediately imagine enormous commitment. They picture building raised beds, buying tools, hauling bags of soil, learning dozens of plant names, spending every weekend fighting weeds, insects, and whatever mysterious animal dug up the garden overnight. So they decide gardening is not for them. And honestly, if that were the only way to begin, I'd understand. But you do not need to start a garden. You need to start an experiment. One plant, one container, one small space where sunlight reaches. That's enough. You're not trying to become a gardener. You are testing whether having something living to check on gives you a reason to step outside tomorrow. Now, maybe you're already thinking, I tried plants before. I kill everything. That doesn't disqualify you. Failure is part of the experiment. I've planted seeds that never came up. I have had animals destroy plants. I have made mistakes with water, soil, temperature, timing, and almost everything else. A plant dying does not prove you're incapable of growing things. It usually means that one part of the system was wrong. Wrong plant, wrong container, wrong amount of sunlight, wrong watering schedule. That's useful information. And because we're beginning with one small experiment, failure does not destroy an entire garden or waste hundreds of dollars. You make one adjustment and try again. You also don't need a backyard like this. A windowsill, balcony, doorstep, patio, or sunny patch can be enough. The goal is not to produce all your own food. The goal is to place one piece of visible growth into your daily environment. Something that changes because you interacted with it. Something that makes you curious enough to check again tomorrow. And maybe the biggest objection is this. My life is already exhausting. I don't need another responsibility. That's fair. A badly designed garden can become another burden. But we're not talking about 50 plants demanding your attention. We're just talking about one small living project that takes a few minutes. There's an important difference between a responsibility that only drains you and a responsibility that gives you something back. When you water a plant, you're not just doing a complete chore. You see it respond, you see the leaves lift, you see new growth appear. Your action leaves evidence. That visual response is what makes the responsibility meaningful. I'm not asking you to believe that gardening will transform your life. That would be too large of a promise to accept from one little video. I'm asking you to test a much smaller question. Could one plant give you something to look forward to for 7 days? Not forever, not for the rest of your life, just 7 days. Choose one plant, put it somewhere you will see, spend a few minutes with it each day. Notice what changes. Notice whether you begin checking it without reminding yourself. Notice whether you feel even slightly curious about what it will look like tomorrow. That curiosity matters because motivation does not always appear before you begin. Sometimes motivation grows after you have something worth returning to. I created a free guide called Grow Something to Look Forward to help you run this experiment. It'll help you choose one plant without becoming overwhelmed, find a simple place to grow it, and follow a 7-day reset built around small daily actions. There is also a Wonder Garden section with unusual plants you can grow when ordinary vegetables do not feel exciting enough. The link is below this video. You don't need to call yourself a gardener. You do not need to buy a huge collection of tools. And you do not need to believe that there will be one plant that will solve everything. You only need to be willing to test whether your life feels different when something inside it is visibly growing. Because maybe you're not lazy. Maybe you're not broken. Maybe you don't need another productivity system. Maybe you need a progress organism. Something alive. Something changing. Something that gives tomorrow one small reason to feel different from today. Download Grow Something to Look Forward to, choose your one plant, and run the experiment for 7 days. Then decide for yourself,